Again, Reverend Glenn Garrett Grayson, Senior Pastor of the Wesley Center Amy Zion Church, resident of the Hill, property owner, and live, love, play, and serve in this community. I concur with other ministers who stand with me and stakeholders who stood on that cold day in January and said, no. We say to Don Carter and to the Penguins and to others, we say hold off until we sign off. No CBA until we sign off. A lot of flatter, a lot of puff and fluff has been articulated as if a lot of it has been brought to the table by this entity. A lot of it has happened, any of the wins has been because we have been fighting and probing and pushing and demanding and standing and meeting and strategizing since day one. The sign-off or the commitment to a master plan did not come from that side, it came from this side. The CBA process also came for the pushing on this side, and it would not have happened, or it has not happened, if it was up to the other entity. So we come today on behalf of One Hill, behalf of the faith-based community, on behalf of stakeholders who've been residents and citizens to say no. We're elated that you have taken such intricate care to make sure the one existing church is pretty and right. But 50 years ago, our churches was mowed down, destroyed, and our whole community was affected. And so we are concerned it won't happen again. And we want you to look again at your architectural renderings, because there is no glass viewing of the hill. You talk about how pretty and wonderful and flattering and it's going to be as you look at downtown. I want y'all to look at the hill where we live and serve and walk. And so if the glass is there, you can see if you've done a good day's work or nothing at all. Right now, if you look, you can see 50 years later, the Penguins have done nothing at all. So I want some glass on that side as you review your renderings. We want to be fair. We know you got a wonderful gift of $290 million to $500 million. I'm a Christian and a pastor, so the right thing would be, as we look at, is at least 10% back to the community. That's the top. Come on, say with me. That's the top. That might be between 2.9 million to 5 million. But don't forget the offering. Come on, somebody. The tithe is what you ought to do. Come on, somebody. I said I'm not going to hoop. But I trust that if you're really concerned about this hill and rebuilding the hill, that not only will you do a CBA, but including in that will be the tithe and the offering. Thank you.
My name is Thomas Smith. I reside at 3074 Iowa Street in the Hill District, and I serve the Monumental Baptist Church at 2240 Raleigh Avenue, which has served this community for some 92 years. But I'm also here on behalf of some of the other pastors who were unable to be here today. One church in particular, Bethel AME Church, which used to reside in the area where the Mellon Arena presently sits. And we are concerned about the design plan. We are in objection to it. I'm in agreement with all that has been said before. But also want to have the Planning Commission to be aware that some statements have been made here by Mr. Carter in reference to the participation or the desire to sign the CBA, which has not been signed, and participation in a master plan, which the initial draft for a master plan for the entire community has not been presented as of yet. It's still in the planning process. We feel that this design plan should be delayed, and that all of the future work that the Penguins are planning be included in that master planning process, and the community have some major control over that planning process to ensure that the interests of the community are protected. As churches in the community, we end up serving those who are injured by political decisions that do not benefit the human resource in the community. And we often, the lack of a solid agreement and solid commitment to the community always results and a check coming back to our community marked insufficient funds. We want to ensure that that does not happen in this process. And so we'd encourage you not to approve the design agreement at this time. Thank you.
My name is Eugene Taylor. I'm part of a corporation, family corporation that owns a business, the Hotel Terrace Hall on Center Avenue, 2335, 15219. What I have to say, some of you might think of me as being a villain. I hope you'll think through it and realize all I come today is as a messenger. As a manager of a business that interact with many, many people 365 days a year, I have a good feel for how people feel. The people in the Hill District are angry. You're not going to get a chance to talk to them. I do every day. You talk to the more learned, the professionals who are diplomatic, and they're not quick to be offensive. I talk to the ones who go home, talk to their children, and their children constantly hear negative things as a result of these kinds of activities dating back 40 years. And the Penguins should be concerned, because that little kid that hears negative talk about what the arena has or has not done to or for our community has no compunction some night as he's walking by. And believe me, the police cannot watch everything. I live as an individual who, during the late 60s and early 70s, at night, walked the streets. Because I have children, fortunately, that are now grown and out of school. But that kid who constantly hear negative things have no compunction about passing when no one's watching, throwing a brick and breaking a $1,500 piece of glass that has to be replaced. And this is what we have to look forward to. My point is, there are a lot of angry people in the Hill District. And that is something I feel is worthwhile knowing. Not only as a member of any organization that makes the effort to try to better its community. As I said, my family owns a business. We have an axe to grind, but it's a small axe compared to most people because we are financially stable. We do own in other sections of the city, including Squirrel Hill, where I see many things happen that don't happen where our business in the Hill is located. I look out my front door every day at a parking lot that has weeds at least 8 feet tall. This would never happen in Squirrel Hill. And things like this bother me. Okay? Not that I can't move. Fortunately, I'm one of those whose family can afford to move. I'm not going anywhere because this is my community. And I believe we've got a right, and I hope you who have families will be conscious of what we're asking for. We're not asking for a handout, just a fair share. That's all. Thank you.